JAG ruled the primetime airwaves from 1995 to 2005, combining military drama legal battles and unforgettable characters that kept viewers hooked for a decade. But what about the actors who brought these stories to life? Nearly 2 decades later, fans are curious. Where are they now in 2025? Some continued to thrive in Hollywood, landing new roles and making waves on TV and film, while others took surprising turns away from the spotlight. In this video, we dive into the lives of the JAG cast, exploring their careers, personal journeys, and how time has shaped the stars behind the iconic legal and military drama we still remember today. Trevor Goddard was born on October 14, 1962, in Croydon, England, and portrayed Lieutenant CMDR Mick Brumby in JAG in 1998 at the age of 36. Brumby was a bold, fiercely competitive Australian naval officer whose charm and impulsive decisions, combined with a penchant for romantic entanglements, often placed him in direct conflict with Harmon Rabb, injecting the series with tension, rivalry, and occasional humor that drew viewers to his magnetic, unpredictable persona. Goddard's real life, however, was far more turbulent and layered than his polished on-screen persona suggested. He fabricated an Australian heritage to secure acting roles, masking a British upbringing and a troubled adolescence defined by economic instability, absent parenting, and the struggle to find belonging in a chaotic environment. In the 1970s, he immersed himself in the punk rock scene, forming bands and living a lifestyle characterized by rebellion, risk, and flirtations with the law, experiences that honed his charisma, but also set the stage for destructive behaviors. Professionally, his career was marked by inconsistency, early rejections, creative clashes, and a reputation for being difficult to direct threatened his long-term trajectory, and he battled substance abuse, including heroin, cocaine, and prescription medications. His romantic life was equally fraught. He was in the midst of a contentious divorce at the time of his death, and his relationships were often intense and volatile, contributing to periods of emotional instability. Tragically, on June 7, 2003, at the age of 40, he died from an accidental overdose of multiple substances, including heroin, cocaine, temazepam, and Vicodin, cutting short a life and career that were gaining momentum and leaving behind a net worth of approximately $500,000. Goddard's story remains a cautionary tale of hidden struggles, personal reinvention, and the thin line between charisma and self-destruction. His legacy lingering as both a testament to his raw talent and the haunting consequences of private demons left unchecked. Dean Stockwell was born on March 5, 1936 in Los Angeles, California, and portrayed Secretary of the Navy Edward Sheffield in JAG from 2002 to 2004, joining the series at age 66. Sheffield was a politically savvy, authoritative figure whose decisions and interventions drove high-stakes narratives and internal conflict within the JAG Corps, establishing him as both a figure of respect and tension for characters and viewers alike. Stockwell's early life was steeped in the volatile world of Hollywood. A child actor during the MGM studio system, he faced rigorous training, strict oversight, and the intense pressures of navigating fame while attempting to transition into mature roles as an adult. This formative period shaped a life of resilience and complexity, instilling both artistic discipline and a deep awareness of the personal costs of celebrity. Professionally, Stockwell experienced extraordinary highs, including acclaimed work in Blue Velvet, Quantum Leap, and Married to the Mob, but also periods of relative obscurity, creative conflict, and the frustration of navigating an industry notorious for ageism and the marginalization of character actors, which tested his patience and adaptability. Personal life challenges included maintaining relationships amid relentless work schedules and the emotional toll of early exposure to the entertainment industry. though he largely avoided scandal, cultivating a private life focused on artistic pursuits, including sculpture and painting. Stockwell passed away on November 7, 2021, at age 85 from natural causes, leaving an estimated net worth between $5 and $10 million accumulated from a remarkable 7-decade career spanning television and film. His legacy is that of a versatile, resilient actor whose contributions to JAG and other projects reflected both the depth of his craft and the complex interplay of personal struggle and professional triumph that defined his enduring presence in Hollywood. Gary Graham was born on June 6, 1950, in Long Beach, California, and entered JAG in 1997 at age 47 as Captain Tobias Ingalls, a principled and steadfast officer whose moral integrity frequently placed him at the center of the show's most complex legal and military dilemmas. Ingalls was disciplined, unwavering, and often depicted as a figure of both authority and vulnerability, whose ability to balance protocol with ethical nuance earned him lasting admiration from audiences. Graham's early life was marked by financial instability and emotional turbulence. Growing up, he contended with a household affected by neglect, intermittent parental support, and social challenges that often left him feeling marginalized. These experiences honed his capacity for empathy, humor, and adaptability traits that became hallmarks of his on-screen presence. Professionally, Graham maintained a diverse career spanning science fiction, television, and stage, including notable roles in Alien Nation and Star Trek Enterprise as the Vulcan ambassador Soval. His path was not without setbacks. He faced occasional typecasting, contractual disputes, and sporadic conflicts with co-stars or producers. Yet, he preserved a reputation for diligence, charm, and collaboration. Beyond acting, Graham cultivated a musical career leading bands like the Sons of Kirk and embraced a devout Christian faith, both of which shaped his approach to professional and personal challenges. His personal life, while stable, reflected the pressures of balancing fame, family, and intensive work schedule, and he was known to maintain strict boundaries to preserve privacy. Gary Graham died on January 22, 2024, at age 73 from cardiac arrest, leaving a net worth estimated between $2 to $3 million accumulated from decades of screen work, music ventures, and residuals, leaving a legacy of integrity, versatility, and a steadfast commitment to characters who embodied both authority and humanity. Francesco Quinn was born on March 22, 1963, in Rome, Italy, and appeared as Kabir Atef in JAG in 1997 at the age of 34, portraying a highly intelligent and ideologically driven Middle Eastern operative whose presence injected tension, moral ambiguity, and geopolitical stakes into the series. Atef was calculated, strategic, and morally complex, making him both a formidable antagonist and a character viewers could not easily dismiss, and Quinn's nuanced performance imbued him with layers of humanity that elevated the storyline. Quinn's childhood was complicated by growing up in the enormous shadow of his father, Anthony Quinn, whose fame created both opportunity and immense pressure. Francesco experienced frequent criticism and teasing from peers, struggled to assert his own identity, and navigated a volatile home environment where affection was often conditional. Professionally, he faced challenges including typecasting, inconsistent roles, and periods of career stagnation compounded by youthful struggles with substance abuse that at times threatened both his reputation and employment. His most significant professional setback came in the late 1980s, when a major motion picture he starred in flopped critically and commercially, leaving him under financial and emotional strain, and forcing a reassessment of his approach to acting. Personal life challenges included navigating complicated family dynamics, public scrutiny over his relationship with his father's legacy, and periods of intense personal reflection that accompanied his sobriety journey. He was committed to mentoring younger actors and advocating for peace and recovery, yet the pressures of his career and public expectations never fully abated. Francesco Quinn died on August 5, 2011, at age 48 from a heart attack while jogging with his son. His estate included residential properties, acting residuals, and memorabilia connected to his father, with an estimated net worth of $3 million, leaving behind a legacy marked by resilience, artistic depth, and the complexities of navigating Hollywood while honoring a legendary family lineage. Bill Cobbs was born on June 16, 1934 in Cleveland, Ohio, and joined JAG in 2001 at age 67 as Chaplain Matthew Turner, a role that cast him as a sagacious, morally grounded figure whose counsel provided a stabilizing presence amid the turbulence and high-stakes drama of military legal proceedings. Turner's character was a quiet moral compass, delivering guidance with empathy and gravitas, becoming a trusted figure for both the fictional officers and viewers alike. Cobbs's own upbringing mirrored the resilience required to sustain such a performance. Growing up in Cleveland during the height of racial segregation, he navigated a childhood of financial deprivation, social marginalization, and the constant pressure to prove his worth experiences that cultivated an enduring self-reliance and subtle strength that permeated his performances. Throughout his nearly 200-credit career, Cobbs encountered the systemic limitations of Hollywood, facing typecasting, fleeting roles, and occasional professional snubs, yet he persevered, earning respect for his consistency, dedication, and the ability to imbue even minor characters with depth. Off-screen, he maintained a reputation for humility and discretion, though the pressures of sustaining a career later in life, combined with health challenges, created periods of strain and uncertainty. Cobbs's personal life remained largely shielded from the spotlight, yet industry whispers spoke of frustrations over the lack of leading roles for veteran black actors and occasional clashes with producers over creative direction. He passed away on June 25, 2024, at age 90 due to pneumonia, leaving an estate valued at $2 to $3 million, comprised of residuals, modest real estate, and personal memorabilia, reflecting a life of steady achievement, professionalism, and the quiet influence of a performer whose legacy rests not on fame, but on the enduring respect of colleagues and audiences for his craft integrity and the humanity he brought to every role. David James Elliott was born on September 21, 1960, in Milton, Ontario, and assumed the role of Commander Harmon Rabb Jr. in JAG in 1995 at age 35, portraying a morally principled, courageous naval aviator turned legal officer whose courtroom acumen and emotional vulnerability made him the series' central anchor. Rabb's character was heroic, yet complex, embodying both the idealism and the personal cost of military service, winning the audience's admiration and cementing Elliott's place in television history. Elliott's early years were marked by family instability, frequent relocations, and the pressure to reconcile personal ambition with economic and social constraints, forcing him to develop discipline, resilience, and a keen understanding of interpersonal dynamics. His career path was a mix of triumphs and trials, early struggles to land substantive roles, professional setbacks due to pilot failures or industry politics, and the relentless challenge of maintaining audience engagement over a decade-long series, all while managing the physical demands of action-heavy sequences. Off-screen, Elliott's marriage to actress Nancy Chambers has provided stability, yet maintaining a decade-long presence in a high-profile series exposed him to scrutiny, professional rivalries, and the stress of sustaining a public image experiences that tested both personal and professional fortitude. At 65, his net worth is estimated at $15 million accrued through his run on JAG guest appearances and prudent investments enabling him to navigate life beyond television with financial security. Elliott's journey illustrates the intertwining of early hardship, sustained professional discipline, and the nuanced realities of long-term fame, revealing a figure shaped as much by personal resilience as by the heroic roles he portrayed on screen. Patrick Labyorteaux was born on July 22, 1965, in Los Angeles, and began portraying Lieutenant CMDR Bud Roberts Jr. in JAG in 1995 at age 30, bringing to life a character whose earnestness, loyalty, and endearing awkwardness evolved over the series into a confident and seasoned naval lawyer. Bud Roberts resonated with viewers for his humor, moral integrity, and relatable growth arc, serving as a grounding and humanizing presence amidst the high-stakes military and legal drama. Labyorteaux's own early life was fraught with adversity. Adopted as a malnourished infant, he faced the dual challenges of medical fragility and the emotional complexities of adoption experiences that instilled resilience, empathy, and a strong drive to succeed. His professional path was marked by constant effort to overcome typecasting, the pressures of maintaining relevance in a competitive industry, and navigating the dynamics of working alongside higher-profile co-stars, sometimes creating behind-the-scenes tension. Off-screen, he found personal stability in his marriage to producer Tina Albanese, with whom he has a child, though balancing career demands with family life has presented ongoing challenges. Labyorteaux has diversified his work with voice acting, guest appearances, and behind-the-scenes roles to maintain creative engagement, reflecting both adaptability and persistence. Currently 60 years old, he continues to work actively in television and voiceover projects, with a net worth estimated at $2 to $3 million accumulated through decades of disciplined effort, careful financial management, and a career that demonstrates resilience, versatility, and the ability to sustain both professional respect and personal fulfillment in the often unforgiving environment. Carrie Turner was born on December 21, 1966, and joined JAG in 1997, at age 31, as Lieutenant Harriet Sims, the bright supportive officer whose humor, loyalty, and emotional accessibility made her a fan favorite and a grounding presence amid the show's legal and military tensions. Harriet's warmth and relatability, particularly in her relationship with Bud Roberts, helped humanize JAG's narrative and provided viewers with both comic relief and heartfelt engagement. Turner's childhood in Fort Worth, Texas, was shaped by a disciplined household, economic limitations, and frequent social teasing experiences that honed her resilience and her capacity for performing in public while managing private insecurities. Professionally, Turner faced the challenges of sustaining a career in a competitive television landscape, including overcoming typecasting as a supportive female officer and ensuring her comedic timing did not overshadow her dramatic abilities. She also navigated minor industry tensions and competitive pressures inherent to ensemble casts, but managed to avoid major public scandals, cultivating a reputation for reliability and professionalism. Her personal life has remained intentionally private, with minimal exposure to tabloid speculation, although insider reports suggest the demands of long-running television work tested relationships and work-life balance. Turner also dedicated considerable energy to charitable work and USO tours, adding meaningful, though less publicized commitments to her career profile. She is currently 58, continues to participate selectively in acting and voice work, and has an estimated net worth of $2 million, derived from her television career, voice acting, and philanthropic endeavors, reflecting a steady, disciplined approach to professional and personal life that has shielded her from controversy while securing a respected place in the legacy of long-running television series. Jeff McKay was born on October 20, 1948 in Dallas, Texas, and joined JAG in 1998 at the age of 50, portraying Big Bud Roberts, the gruff, authoritative father of Bud Roberts Jr., a retired Navy man whose strict, sometimes overbearing demeanor masked deep paternal affection. Big Bud provided comic relief, moral grounding, and occasional tension, often clashing with his son, while ultimately embodying unconditional love, creating a multi-layered figure that resonated with audiences. McKay's early life was shaped by both opportunity and expectation. As a cousin of Robert Redford, he had early exposure to Hollywood, which provided access and mentorship, but also imposed pressure to prove himself outside the shadow of a famous relative. His career, spanning decades across iconic television shows such as Magnum P.I., Battlestar Galactica, and Tales of the Gold Monkey, was marked by steady employment, but also by frustrations tied to typecasting and being relegated to supporting roles despite his talent, engendering periods of professional anxiety and self-doubt. Off-screen, McKay navigated personal complexities with quiet dignity, enduring multiple marriages and the strains of a life spent largely on the road for work, balancing family obligations with the demands of a relentless entertainment industry. Although he avoided scandal industry, insiders noted his occasional clashes over credit and creative recognition, reflecting the tension between artistic integrity and the commercial nature of television. McKay passed away on August 22, 2008, from liver failure at the age of 59, leaving a modest net worth likely under $1 million accumulated through persistent work and residuals. His legacy endures as a reliable, understated talent whose portrayals added depth, humor, and humanity to the series he graced, demonstrating the quiet impact of steady professionalism in an industry often dominated by flashier, headline-driven fame. Claudette Nevins was born on April 10, 1937, in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and joined JAG in 1997 at age 60 as Mrs. Porter Webb, a poised and sophisticated character whose elegance and strategic acumen added gravitas to the series' depiction of high-level political and legal maneuvering. Mrs. Webb was intelligent, perceptive, and commanding, offering audiences a lens into the subtle power dynamics of Washington and the military establishment, while Nevins' performance imbued the character with warmth, wit, and understated authority that made her indispensable to the narrative. Nevins' childhood was marked by financial strain and the pressures of a working-class upbringing requiring early maturity and self-discipline. Teasing and social judgment fostered an ability to hide vulnerabilities behind grace and composure traits that informed her professional presence. Her career spanned theater, film, and television with performances in Melrose Place, Sleeping with the Enemy, and Star Trek Insurrection. Yet, she encountered the industry's gender biases, ageism, and competitive politics, navigating disputes with casting directors and union challenges as a founding member and president of AFTRA. Personal life presented its own obstacles. The demands of long-term career commitments, familial expectations, and societal pressures required careful balancing, though she largely kept her private life out of the public eye. Nevins died on February 20, 2020, at age 82 in hospice care, leaving an estate estimated between $1 to $2 million, including residuals, property, and personal investments. Her legacy endures through decades of disciplined performance, intellectual rigor, and the elegance she brought to each role, particularly Mrs. Porter Webb, whose blend of authority and subtle humor remains an enduring highlight of JAG and a testament to Nevins' skill, resilience, and understated influence in the entertainment industry. Shashawnee Hall was born on December 27, 1961 in Savannah, Georgia, and appeared as Agent Marvin Novak in JAG in 1995 at age 34, portraying a meticulous, analytical, and methodical federal agent whose work intersected with military law, and added tension, intrigue, and procedural depth to the series. Novak's calm, focused, and occasionally morally ambiguous nature provided a counterbalance to more impulsive characters, and Hall's portrayal added subtlety, intelligence, and gravitas, drawing viewers into complex legal and ethical dilemmas. Hall's childhood was shaped by financial instability, early exposure to social prejudice, and family challenges that required him to cultivate independence, emotional restraint, and resilience traits that became essential in his acting career. Professionally, Hall navigated a versatile path across stage television and film, including appearances on NYPD Blue ER and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yet he faced persistent challenges, such as the difficulty of securing leading roles, periods of inconsistent employment, and occasional friction with directors over creative interpretation, with one of his most difficult professional moments being a canceled series pilot that cost him a potential breakthrough and created financial and emotional strain. Off-screen, Hall maintained a reputation for dedication, quiet professionalism, and artistic integrity, steering clear of public scandal while coping with the pressures of an unpredictable industry. His personal life involved balancing career demands with family and private relationships, a process often complicated by long periods on set and the emotional toll of transient work. Shashawnee Hall died on January 14, 2007, at age 45 from undisclosed causes. His estate included television residuals, stage royalties, and personal property, with a net worth estimated under $1 million, reflecting a life of committed artistry, professional respect, and a quiet, enduring contribution to television that continues to resonate with fans and colleagues alike. John M. Jackson was born on June 1, 1950, and joined JAG in 1996 at age 46 as Rear Admiral A.J. Chegwidden, a character whose commanding presence, moral authority, and nuanced mentorship anchored the show's ensemble and provided a narrative counterweight to the impassioned young lawyers. Chegwidden's balance of stern discipline with paternal insight made him both respected and relatable, contributing significantly to JAG's long-running appeal. Jackson's early life in Baton Rouge was shaped by middle-class expectations, conservative values, and the social pressures of post-war Louisiana, requiring him to conceal vulnerabilities and cultivate a stoic persona that later informed his authoritative acting style. Transitioning into acting after a career in teaching social studies, he faced the challenge of entering Hollywood relatively late, encountering typecasting as authoritative figures, and the occasional skepticism from casting directors over his ability to carry weighty roles. While his public profile has been largely scandal-free industry, insiders note a private intensity and exacting work ethic that sometimes caused tension on set. His personal life has seen stability in marriage and fatherhood, including nurturing a professional sports career for his son, Connor Jackson, yet balancing family career and occasional public scrutiny presented ongoing challenges. Chegwidden's consistent role over the series offered Jackson professional stability and recognition, though the pressures of sustaining long-term television work, particularly in ensemble casts with high turnover, required adaptability and resilience. John M. Jackson is currently 75, continues to work selectively in television, and has an estimated net worth of $3.5 million, reflecting earnings from decades of screen work and residuals, and leaving a legacy as a respected character actor whose personal integrity has largely shielded him from scandal while cementing his authoritative presence on screen. Catherine Bell was born on August 14, 1968, and joined JAG in 1996 at age 28 as Lieutenant Colleen to Sarah McKenzie, the formidable Marine lawyer whose intelligence, toughness, and layered vulnerability made her one of the series' most compelling figures. Mac's intricate relationship with Harmon Rabb drew audiences into her moral and emotional conflicts, and Belle's portrayal brought nuance to a role that might otherwise have been a rigid archetype, redefining how female characters could lead in military dramas. Belle's childhood, marked by a cosmopolitan upbringing in London and later relocation to California, was punctuated by emotional and cultural adjustments, including navigating her mother's high expectations and the social scrutiny of early beauty, contests which fueled both ambition and a guarded emotional life. Professionally, Belle faced challenges common to rising actresses being typecast early, navigating the male-dominated landscape of action-driven series, and dealing with the relentless scrutiny of Hollywood and fan culture. But her disciplined approach and commitment to her craft mitigated these pressures. Off-screen, Belle's involvement with Scientology has drawn curiosity and occasional controversy, as has her private romantic life, including her long-term partnership with Brooke Daniels, which is often referenced in tabloid speculation. While never embroiled in overt scandal, insiders note her intensity and perfectionism could intimidate co-stars, a pattern Belle has acknowledged in interviews. She also faced the broader industry challenge of balancing television fame with a desire for artistic variety, often declining or being passed over for roles that did not align with her established image. Belle's stability has been reinforced by careful career choices and a supportive personal network, though the pressures of Hollywood and public scrutiny have occasionally shadowed her otherwise steady trajectory. Catherine Bell is currently 57, living a largely private life, with an estimated net worth of $15 million derived from JAG Army Wives, the Good Witch franchise, and residual earnings, reflecting both professional success and strategic personal brand management that has preserved her influence in television while maintaining relative privacy. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey through classic television history. If you enjoyed learning about the cast of JAG and where they are now, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more vintage Hollywood retrospectives, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your memories and suggestions, so let us know which TV show or movie cast you'd like us to feature next.